There is no doubt in the minds of myself, the actors, and everyone else that have watched this movie has deemed this movie most likely going to be the worst of the year. Everyone has already came out here and said, including myself, especially on my podcast, that said this was a train wreck and it was terrible from the get-go. It was been so easy to just leave it at that, to just jump on the hate wagon just for shits and giggles. Then I watched Chris Stuckman's video. And for those of you that don't know who Chris Stuckman is, he is a YouTuber, now indie filmmaker, and he's been doing YouTube for well over a decade. And he based his judgment, his opinion of this movie from a creator standpoint as opposed to an audience standpoint, where the audience would just complain no matter what and would just call it the way it is. Hey, this was terrible, this was bad, I don't like it, screw it, move on to the next thing. But he looked at it as, you know what? Even though this movie is bad, the writers, directors, and producers are not all to blame. Sony has had a track record of going into when it comes to studio interference. It can happen with Morbius, it happened with Spider-Man 3, it happened with The Amazing Spider-Man 2, it happened with many, many occasions. And in many cases, it forced me to look at things from a different perspective. We as the audience come across as someone that wants to judge something right away. And we can't help but do so. If we spend our hard-earned money to watch your product, we expect to be entertained, be wowed, be enthusiastic, or any type of euphoric feeling after the movie is done. But when we're left disappointed and we're left with a sour taste in our mouths, we can't help but just vent our frustrations right here and there. I do it time and time again, and I know you have too. But after watching Chris Stuckman's perspective and understanding it from a different perspective, considering this is the work that I want to go into with working with these great studios that have worked so hard on these movies, whether you believe it's for a different reason or not, it forced me to change things and think of things completely differently. There are some movies that are made that are just for cash grabs. That is a fact. There are some movies that are made where the director will blame us, the audience. That is also true. There have also been many movies that have been made where we can just go, screw it. We're retaining our IP rights. Here it is. Deal with it. We don't care about the storytelling. We don't care about the creative side. We don't care about the fans. We don't care about the source material. We don't care about any of that stuff. That is true too. We knew from the very get-go that Dakota Johnson, since firing her agent and going on her promotional tour she's trying her very best. She really is trying her very best to save whatever good that this movie is going to project. And just so happened that it was a complete misfire. I'm guessing, or I'm saying, from a different perspective, let's not crap the entire thing on her or the creators or the writers, but let's look at it from a different perspective completely. If there's a strong chance that studio interference was the main reason why this movie failed, or maybe you can botch it up to AI, maybe we have to stop and think about what truly can happen or what does happen behind the scenes. So, in a variety of ways, let's do better. And I promise you, I'll do better.